There is a simple truth most people ignore. Nobody.
You have spent enough time living at the mercy of your thoughts. You have allowed chaos, fear, and noise to dictate your reality for far too long. This ends today. This is the moment everything changes for you. Look at your hands. Listen to your heart. You are not a spectator in this life. You are the architect. In this audio experience, we tear down the weak foundations of your past self and build an unshakable mind. No more waiting, no more self-doubt. You are here because a deeper part of you knows you were built for dominance, for peace, and for greatness. Take a breath, step forward, and claim your world. Chapter 1. The Fortress Within. Take a deep breath. Look at where you are standing right now. Look at the life you have built, the choices you make every morning, and the thoughts that bounce around inside your head when the lights go down and the world falls silent. There is a quiet battle happening inside you every single second. It is a war for your focus, a war for your energy, a war for your peace. Every notification on your screen, every opinion from a stranger, every piece of gossip, every sudden crisis, and every voice that tells you that you are not enough is trying to break in. They want a piece of you. They want to steal your vision. They want to pull you into their chaotic orbit until you forget who you are and what you were born to achieve. Ask yourself a simple question. How much of your daily life is actually spent pursuing your highest potential, and how much is spent reacting to things that do not matter? Think about the last time you felt overwhelmed, angry, or exhausted. Did that feeling come from the situation itself, or did it come from the power you gave to it? Here is the truth you must embrace if you want to rule your life. External circumstances have zero power over you. None. A storm can rage outside, but it cannot wet the floor inside your home unless you leave the windows open. A fire can burn in the forest, but it cannot scorch you unless you walk into the flames. The world outside can throw chaos, doubt, pressure, and negativity at you all day long, but none of it can penetrate your spirit until your mind grants it permission. You are the one who signs the paths. You are the one who opens the door. You are the one who opens the door. You are the one who lets the poison in. It is time to close the door. Imagine your mind as an impenetrable citadel, a massive fortress built from high stone walls, forged in conviction, and surrounded by deep waters. Inside this fortress lies your focus, your drive, your values, and your quiet confidence. This is where your strength lives. This is where your dreams take shape. When the gates are locked, you are completely untouchable. The wind can howl, the enemy can shout from outside the walls, and the weather can turn harsh, but inside the citadel, there is absolute clarity and perfect order. Now look at how you have been living. You have left the drawbridge down. You have let every cheap distraction wander through your halls. You have allowed the opinions of people who do not even care about you to sit at your inner table. You have given away your focus to endless scrolling, useless drama, and minor inconveniences. You wake up and immediately hand the keys to your morning over to a screen. You step out into the world and let a single rude comment ruin your entire afternoon. You spend your precious finite energy trying to control things you can never control, while leaving the one thing you actually own completely unguided. This is a leak in your power. It is a slow bleeding of your soul. Every time you react emotionally to something useless, you chip away a stone from your own wall. Every time you chase a cheap hit of dopamine or get drawn into an argument that adds no value to your purpose, you surrender a piece of your throne. Why are you giving your power away so easily? Why are you letting the world dictate your state of mind? You know what needs to be done. You know you were built for better things than reacting to noise. Look at the wasted potential lying in the corners of your life. Think about what you could build, who you could become, and how high you could climb if 100% of your mental energy was directed toward your own growth instead of being scattered into the wind. The difference between those who achieve legendary success and those who live in regret is not talent. It is not luck. It is internal sovereignty. The winners protect their inner state with their lives. They know that if the mind is secure, the world would eventually fall into line. Stand up. Focus. You rise now. Lock the gate. Silence the noise. Stand guard at the door of your mind. From this moment forward, nothing enters your mental space without your explicit permission. When a problem arises, do not panic. Observe it, inspect it, decide if it deserves your attention. If it does not serve your growth, your family, your vision, or your peace, leave it outside the walls. Let it scream at the stone. Let it wear itself out in the cold. You do not have to answer every call. You do not have to react to every stimulus. You do not have to explain yourself to those who do not understand your direction. Notice the shift that happens the moment you stop reacting. Feel the sudden surge of strength that returns to your chest when you choose silence over conflict. When you refuse to be baited, you become dangerous to every distraction trying to pull you down. You become a rock in the middle of a rushing river. The water can crash against you all day, but you do not move. You remain set, solid, and rooted in your purpose. Feel the relief of letting go of what you cannot control. You do not need to fix everyone. You do not need to carry the emotional weight of a chaotic world. Your primary duty is to keep your inner fire burning bright and clean. Breathe out the tension you have been holding in your shoulders. Drop the heavy load of unnecessary cares you were never meant to carry. Clear the table of your mind until only the essential remains: your mission, your discipline, your growth, and your unwavering belief in what you are capable of achieving. Imagine walking into any room of chaos and remaining absolute zero, calm, cold, and entirely in control. Imagine a life where pressure no longer shakes you. Imagine facing a massive setback at work, a sudden shift in your plans, or an unexpected conflict, and while everyone around you is running in circles, losing their tempers and drowning in panic, you stand there completely unmoved. Your heart rate remains steady, your vision stays sharp. You do not yell, you do not complain. You assess the situation with cold, surgical precision. You see the path through the storm because you are not blinded by the rain. You make the right decision because your mind is silent and clear. People will look at you in awe. They will wonder where you get such unshakable posture. They will ask how you stay so grounded when everything around you is falling apart. They will not realize that while they were busy letting the world run their minds, you were busy building a fortress. You were becoming the person who cannot be shaken. You are transforming into a leader whose energy dictates the temperature of the room, rather than reflecting it. When you speak, people will listen because your words come from a place of deep, settled power. When you move with intent because you are no longer distracted by the sideshows along the road. Say this to yourself right now and let it sink into the deepest layer of your identity. I am the fortress. Nothing enters without my consent. Repeat it until it is no longer just a phrase, but a visceral feeling in your body. I am the fortress. Nothing enters without my consent. Say it when you wake up in the morning and feel the impulse to check your phone. Say it when someone tries to pull you into an unnecessary argument. Say it when fear tries to creep into your thoughts before a big leap. Say it when fatigue tries to tell you to give up on your daily discipline. You are the ruler of this domain. You hold the keys. You decide what stays and what gets cast out into the dark. Your excuses are gone. The days of playing the victim to your circumstances, your environment, or your mood are officially over. You can no longer blame the weather for your lack of progress. You can no longer blame other people for your lack of focus. You are the master of your internal world, and because you master what is inside, you will inevitably master what is outside. Every morning when you open your eyes, you have a choice. You can leave your gates unguarded and let the world pull you into its madness. Or you can step onto the battlements of your mind, lock the iron doors, and execute your day with ruthless focus. Choose greatness, choose control, choose power. The citadel is built, the guards are set, the noise of the world is fading out, and the quiet, steady beat of your own relentless purpose is taking over. Hold this ground. Never surrender an inch of your peace to anything or anyone. Walk with your head high, your shoulders back, and your eyes fixed on the horizon of your potential. Now, as the gates lock tight behind you and your internal world becomes completely still, you are ready to address the subtle, dangerous force that has been quietly undermining your potential from within the shadow of your comfort. Chapter 2. The Fallacy of Comfort. Sit with this truth for a moment. Take a long, honest look at your days, your habits, and the silent bargains you make with yourself when no one is watching. There is an invisible parasite living inside the human mind. It does not attack with sharp violence or loud alarms. It works quietly, softly, and persuasively. It speaks in a gentle whisper, telling you that you have done enough for today. It tells you that tomorrow is a better day to start. It tells you that you deserve a break, that the water is too cold, that the hill is too steep, and that there is no harm in staying right where you are. That parasite is the craving for comfort. We live in a world obsessed with ease. We're surrounded by systems designed to eliminate friction, remove effort, and cushion every blow. We sit in temperature-controlled rooms, order food with the tap of a finger, and stream endless entertainment to distract ourselves from the quiet ache of unfulfilled ambition. We have been conditioned to believe that the ultimate goal of life is to reach a state of total safety, quiet relaxation, and perpetual convenience. It is a lie. It is a trap engineered to make you soft, compliant, and forgetful of your true power. Comfort is not a reward. Comfort is a slow, silent death for your ambition, your leadership, and your future. Think about what happens to water when it stops moving. It sits still. It becomes stagnant. It gathers dust, breeds bacteria, and eventually turns toxic. The same thing happens to your spirit when you choose the easy path day after day. When you avoid friction, your muscles atrophy. When you avoid difficulty, your mind weakens. When you run away from discomfort, your capacity to handle pressure shrinks until the smallest inconvenience feels like a massive crisis. Look back at your own life. Where have your greatest moments of growth actually come from? Did you build your character during the long hours you spent lying on the couch, staring at a screen, or hiding in the safety of routine? Or did you forge your character when your back was against the wall? Did you discover what you were truly made of when the project failed, when the money was tight, when the relationship ended, or when you were forced to stand up and face a situation that terrified you? You already know the answer. You have never grown an inch while feeling completely comfortable. Growth and ease cannot exist in the same room. They are mortal enemies. The moment you choose comfort, you choose to stop evolving. Yet, day after day, you wait for the right time. You wait to feel ready. You tell yourself that once the circumstances are perfect, once you have more money, once the weather clears up, once your energy returns, or once your energy returns, or once the risk drops to zero, then you will make your move. How many years are you going to waste waiting for a feeling that is never going to come? The feeling of being ready is an illusion created by a mind that is terrified of the unknown. Leaders do not wait to feel ready. High performers do not wait for the fear to vanish. They understand that readiness is not a feeling, it is a choice. You become ready by stepping into the arena, not by sitting in the stands analyzing the dirt. Think of the historic pioneers who reshaped the world, the visionaries who built industries out of nothing, and the leaders who navigated through absolute darkness to bring their people into the light. Not a single one of them had a smooth path. They did not have ideal conditions. They were pushed to the absolute edge of human endurance. They operated in environments of extreme uncertainty, intense cold, scarce resources, and constant threat. When ancient explorers sailed off the edge of known maps into uncharted oceans, they did not have radar, satellites, or guarantees of return. They had wooden ships, brutal winds, and an inner fire that refused to settle for the safety of the harbor. They thrived not in spite of the storm, but because of it. The storm demanded everything they had. It burned away their smallness, forced them to abandon their petty fears, and transformed ordinary men into legends. You carry that exact same human spirit inside your DNA. You are the descendant of survivors, builders, and fighters who endured unthinkable hardship so that you could exist today. but when was the last time you actually tested your limits? When was the last time you willingly walked into something that made your hands shake and your heart race, simply because you knew it was necessary for your transformation? Instead, you make excuses. You tell yourself you are too tired. You tell yourself you do not have enough time. You tell yourself that other people have advantages you do not possess. Stop lying to yourself. Your excuses are nothing more than a polished suit of armor worn by your fear. They are convenient stories you tell yourself, so you can sleep at night without feeling the sting of your own wasted potential. Every time you accept an excuse, you sign a contract with mediocrity. You trade your future greatness for a few fleeting hours of artificial ease. Look at what this bargain is costing you. Look at the leader you could have been by now if you had embraced every challenge over the last 5 years, instead of looking for the exit. Look at the strength, the authority, and the mastery you left on the table, because you preferred the warm blanket of safety over the sharp edge of discipline. It ends now. Stand up, focus. You rise now, step into the fire, disown the couch, seek the struggle. From this moment forward, you must change your entire relationship with discomfort. Stop viewing friction as a sign that something is wrong. Start viewing friction as proof that you are growing. When the work gets hard, when the hours get long, when your legs burn on the hill, and when your mind screams at you to quit, that is not the moment to stop. That is the exact moment the real training begins. Everything before that point was just the warm-up. If it is easy, reject it. If it offers a shortcut, distrust it. If it promises reward without sacrifice, walk away. Force yourself to do the things that make you uncomfortable every single day. Wake up earlier than your excuses. Take the cold shower. Have the difficult conversation you have been avoiding. Put down the cheap distractions and pick up the heavy work. Push your body past the point of mild fatigue. Expose yourself to small, deliberate doses of hardship until your mind learns that discomfort is not a threat, it is your natural habitat. Notice how the world around you reacts when you start making this shift. Most people are desperately running away from pain, chasing air-conditioned lives, and seeking the path of least resistance. When they see you intentionally choosing the hard road, stepping into challenges with a calm smile, and seeking out difficulty, they will not understand you. They will call you crazy. They will tell you to slow down. Let them talk. They are measuring you by their own weak standards. They're trapped in the fallacy of comfort while you are busy reclaiming your life. Feel the immediate wave of energy that floods your veins when you stop running from the fight. There is an incredible untapped reservoir of power waiting inside you, but it will never unlock while you stay in your comfort zone. Power only reveals itself under immense pressure. The diamond is not formed in the light soil near the surface. It is forged deep within the earth, under thousands of tons of rock and heat. Breathe in this new reality. Drop the need for approval, the demand for guarantees, and the addiction to safety. Reframe every single obstacle in front of you, not as a wall, but as a weight meant to build your muscle. Picture yourself leaning into pain while others run away, knowing that every ounce of friction is forging your armor. See yourself in the near future, standing in the middle of an intense crisis that causes everyone else to collapse. While they panic, freeze, and search for someone to save them, you step forward with total composure. You have spent months and years deliberately seeking out difficulty. You have trained your mind to stay calm in the fire. You have turned discomfort into a trusted friend. While others shrink under the weight of the moment, you thrive in it, because you know that you have built a spirit that cannot be broken by hard times. You become the anchor in the storm. You become the leader who commands respect without ever having to raise their voice, simply because your presence radiates an undeniable, battle-tested strength. Say this to yourself right now with absolute conviction, until every cell in your body aligns with the statement, I do not crave ease, I crave strength. Repeat it again. Let it tear through every lingering excuse in your mind. I do not crave ease, I crave strength. You are not here to live a small, safe, unremarkable life. You are not here to live a small, safe, unremarkable life. You are not here to slide comfortably into the grave, having never tested the outer limits of your capacity. You were built to carry heavy loads, to break through difficult barriers, and to leave a permanent mark on the world around you. The couch is dead to you. The easy way out is no longer an option on your menu. The cheap shortcuts are stripped away. Choose the steep path. Choose the heavy lifting. Choose the cold rain. When you choose the struggle, you take total ownership of your destiny. You start asking the world to be kinder, easier, or softer, and you start demanding that you become stronger, sharper, and more resilient. The world will test you. It will push you, and it will try to grind you down, but it will discover that you are no longer made of soft clay. You are made of tempered steel. Walk into today with your chest open, your jaw set, and a relentless desire to find the friction, step into the heat, and earn your greatness through execution. Now, with your feet planted firmly on the hard path and your mind hardened against the poison of ease, you are ready to face the most dangerous enemy you will ever encounter. The silent traitor living inside your own internal dialogue. Chapter 3. Killing the internal saboteur. Listen closely to the voice inside your head, not the voice that speaks when you are proud, energized, and moving forward, but that other voice, the dark, quiet whisper that speaks up the moment you decide to reach for something higher. The voice that asks, "Who do you think you are? What if you fail? What if they laugh at you? Why bother trying when you have failed before?" You know that voice. You have lived with it for years. You have sat in silent rooms and let it dictate your limits. You have allowed it to talk you out of your dreams before you even took a single step. You have treated that voice as if it were a wise counselor, a protective friend, or an objective truth about your identity. It is none of those things. It is an enemy. It is a parasite. It is the internal saboteur, and it is actively trying to murder your potential. We must call this enemy by its real name, your old self. Your old self is the collection of every doubt, every weakness, every insecurity, and every failure you have ever experienced. It is the part of your mind that was forged in your past smallness. It loves comfort. It worships safety. It thrives on fear, self-pity, and mediocrity. And because it exists only within the boundaries of who you used to be, it views your future growth as a direct threat to its existence. Understand this psychological dynamic right now. The moment you decide to change, the moment you decide to step into leadership, build wealth, master your body, or demand greatness, your old self panics. It knows that if you succeed, it dies. If you become strong, the weak past self ceases to exist. So it fights back. It uses your own memories, your own insecurities, and your own voice to sabotage your momentum. This is an explicit, uncompromising war, you versus your past. Every single day, you are locked in battle with a memory. You are fighting a ghost that wants to drag you back into the grave of your old habits. When you feel unmotivated, that is not laziness. That is your old self trying to pull you back down. When you feel sudden self-doubt before a critical decision, that is not logic. That is your old self trying to protect its comfortable cage. When you fall into self-pity, weeping over past mistakes or unfair circumstances, that is your old self feeding on your wasted energy. How much longer are you going to negotiate with a terrorist inside your own mind? How many more opportunities are you going to surrender to a dead version of yourself? Stop treating the inner critic like a part of who you are. It is a separate entity. It is a shadow. It is an imposter occupying space in a fortress it did not build and does not deserve to rule. Every time you listen to it, you hand the steering wheel of your life back to the very person who drove you into the ditch in the first place. Why do you give credibility to a voice that has never accomplished anything? Why do you trust the counsel of the coward inside you? Look at what this internal saboteur has done to your life so far. Count the missed opportunities. Count the unmade calls, the unwritten books, the unfinished workouts, and the bold decisions you hesitated to make because you let that voice paralyze you. It has kept you small. It has kept you quiet. It has convinced you to play it safe in a world that only rewards the bold. Enough is enough. The time for peaceful coexistence with your weakness is over. You cannot negotiate with a parasite. You cannot reason with self-pity. You cannot gently fix a past identity that is actively trying to poison your future. You have to destroy it. You must hunt down every line of negative code in your brain and erase it with absolute cold-blooded finality. Stand up. Focus. You rise now. Cut the cord. Do not listen. Kill the doubt now. Silence the dialogue immediately. The next time that voice starts to tell you that you cannot do something, do not argue with it. Do not debate it. Do not analyze why it feels that way. Shut it down instantly with action. When the whisper says, "Stay in bed," step onto the floor before the sentence is even finished. When the whisper says, "You are not ready," step up to the microphone and speak anyway. When the whisper says, "You are tired," push through 10 more reps, write 10 more pages, work 10 more minutes, and show that voice who owns the throne. Action is the ultimate weapon against the internal saboteur. Doubt cannot survive in an environment of rapid, decisive execution. Doubt feeds on hesitation. Doubt thrives in the gap between thought and action. When you eliminate the gap, you starve the saboteur. You leave it with no room to speak, no time to analyze, and no power to stop you. Reject self-pity with violent disgust. The world does not care about your hurt feelings. The market does not care about your past trauma. The future does not care how hard it was for you yesterday. Every second you spend feeling sorry for yourself is a second you spend feeling sorry for yourself is a second you spend worshipping your old self. Stand up, wipe your face, check your posture, and execute your duties like a mature, disciplined leader. Notice the massive power dynamic that flips the moment you refuse to engage with your inner critic. The voice loses its edge. It grows quiet. It shrinks back into the shadows. You begin to realize that the doubt was never a brick wall. It was a curtain of smoke. It only looked solid because you were standing still, staring at it in fear. The moment you march straight through it, it dissolves into nothing. Feel the electric energy of total internal freedom. You no longer need to carry the weight of who you were 5 years ago, 5 months ago, or 5 minutes ago. You owe your past self nothing. It gave you lessons, but it does not get to give you orders. You are no longer bound by your old mistakes, your old limitations, or your old reputation. Envision looking back at your old doubts 6 months from today, barely recognizing the person who used to hold you back. Picture yourself half a year from this exact moment. You have cut the internal saboteur out of your life completely. You have spent 6 straight months executing without hesitation, shutting down doubt the second it speaks and moving forward with relentless clarity. Look at that future version of yourself. Look at your body fit, posture erect, eyes sharp. Look at your work built on consistency, precision, and courage. Look at your mind calm, focused, and free from the constant noise of internal conflict. You look back at the person you are today, and you smile with quiet pride. You barely recognize the individual who used to lie awake at night worrying about petty opinions, procrastinating on simple tasks, and letting a weak inner voice control their destiny. You realize that the old doubts were completely meaningless. They were just noise. They were just tests to see if you had the courage to step up and kill the coward inside. That future is not a fantasy, it is your destination, but only if you strip the old version of yourself of all power today. Repeat this truth until it becomes an unshakable law buried deep in your subconscious mind. My past self has no vote in my future. Say it out loud. Say it with fire in your throat. My past self has no vote in my future. Your past self does not get a seat at the table where your future is being planned. It does not get to comment on your goals. It does not get to set your boundaries. It is stripped of its authority, its influence, and its speech. The past is dead, and the weak person who inhabited it is gone. You are no longer a victim of your internal dialogue. You are the absolute master of it. You choose which thoughts are allowed to stay, and you ruthlessly execute any thought that attempts to undermine your mission. Your excuses are dead. Your doubts are severed. Your focus is locked. Choose victory over comfort. Choose execution over analysis. Choose the new self. Walk into the world today with zero tolerance for your own weakness. When the internal saboteur tries to raise its head, crush it with immediate work. Let your discipline be so absolute and your speed be so terrifying that the voices of your past cannot even keep up with the sound of your forward movement. Now, with the traitor inside your mind finally silenced and your internal sovereignty fully reclaimed, you are ready to master the strategic art of total concealment, learning how to protect your moves, hide your power, and strike in complete silence. Chapter 4. Silence, Secrecy, and Stealth. Listen to the sound of quiet. There is an incredible, dangerous amount of energy contained in things that are hidden. Think about the way an arrow works. The bowstring is drawn back in complete silence. Potential energy builds in the tension of the wood, held tight under immense pressure. It does not make a sound. It does not boast about where it is going. It does not announce its intention to the target. It sits in total stillness, holding a terrifying amount of force until the exact second it is released. Now look at how the average person lives today. We inhabit a culture addicted to noise, a world of constant broadcasted, instant validation, and cheap exposure. People can barely form a single thought, set a modest goal, or take a solitary step toward a new project without immediately running to a screen to tell everyone about it. They post their intentions, they stream their plans, they record their process before they have even built the foundation. They demand applause for work they have not yet performed. It is a subtle, pathetic sickness, and it is the primary reason why most people never achieve anything of permanent significance. Understand the psychological reality of what happens when you open your mouth too soon. When you broadcast your goals to the world, your brain cannot tell the difference between the actual execution of the task and the social validation you receive just for talking about it. When you tell people what you are going to build, what you are going to lose, or how much wealth you are going to create, they smile, they compliment you, they validate your vision. And in that precise moment, a wave of cheap dopamine floods your system. You feel satisfied. You feel accomplished. You feel the warmth of approval. But you have done zero actual work. You have expended the exact psychological currency, the precise neurological drive that was meant to carry you through the grueling months of real labor, and you spent it on a quick hit of attention from people who do not even care if you succeed. You traded real transformation for cheap applause. You bled out your drive before the battle even began. Every time you talk about what you are going to do, you leak power. You create a tear in your pressure vessel. The pressure drops, the steam escapes, and when you finally sit down to do the cold, hard, repetitive work, the engine will not turn over. You feel flat. You feel unmotivated. You wonder motivated. You wonder why the passion vanished. It vanished because you gave it away to an audience that did not earn it. Real power does not seek an audience. High leaders do not need cheerleaders. The most dangerous, effective, and formidable individuals on this planet operate with a different strategy entirely. They understand the supreme value of stealth. They treat their energy, their plans, and their daily moves like top-secret intelligence. They operate behind locked doors, under the radar, and out of the public eye. They do not announce their presence. They let their results do the screaming for them. Ask yourself an honest question right now. How many of your past ambitions died simply because you talked them to death? How many times have you announced a grand new chapter in your life, only for the momentum to evaporate 2 weeks later while everyone watched you fail to deliver? Look at the embarrassment of unexecuted talk. Look at the energy wasted trying to convince people that you are working instead of actually doing the work. It ends today. From this moment on, you are entering a period of strategic dark mode. Stand up. Focus. You rise now. Work in the dark. Speak with results. Keep your mouth shut. Close your lips. Lock your plans away in the deepest vault of your mind. Stop telling your friends what you are working on. Stop telling your family about your next big leap. Stop posting your daily workouts, your late-night study sessions, and your raw business ideas to strangers who are only watching you to see if you trip. Let them think you are quiet. Let them think you are inactive. Let them assume you have settled down or given up. Let them miscalculate your strength. There is immense tactical advantage in being underestimated. When people do not know what you are building, they do not know where to strike. They cannot sabotage a target they cannot see. They cannot undermine a strategy they do not even know exists. When you operate in complete secrecy, you operate without external friction, without outside opinions, and without the toxic weight of other people's expectations. You build in absolute peace. Imagine the depth of focus you achieve when no one is watching. Imagine the quiet, cold clarity that comes when you work purely for the standard of the work itself, rather than the reaction it will produce online. You sit at your desk in the early hours of the morning while the world is still asleep, and you lay stone after stone in absolute silence. No cameras, no audience, no validation, just you, the vision, and the raw execution. Feel the pressure building inside you once again. When you seal every leak, when you refuse to speak a single word about your progress, the internal pressure has nowhere to go except straight into your output. Your work becomes heavier, your focus becomes sharper, your discipline becomes absolute. You become a coiled spring, holding a massive reservoir of quiet, concentrated momentum. Let the noise of the world pass right over you. When people ask you what you have been up to lately, give them short, simple, uninteresting answers. Tell them you are just keeping busy. Tell them you are working on the usual things. Smile calmly, step back, and let them talk about themselves. Listen to them spill their plans, their drama, and their loud opinions while you sit there like a ghost holding a master plan they cannot even comprehend. Feel the deep relief of stepping out of the spotlight. You no longer have to perform for anyone. You no longer have to prove your worth to people who are drowning in their own distractions. You are no longer competing for cheap attention. You are competing for total dominance, and real dominance takes place far away from the cameras. Breathe in the stillness of this strategy. Drop the need to be seen. Drop the urge to explain your journey to minds that are too small to understand where you are going anyway. Imagine the shock on everyone's face when you reveal what you've been building in total silence. Picture the moment of execution down the road. Months have passed, perhaps years, while the world was busy arguing, scrolling, and boasting about small wins. You were down in the basement of your life, grinding steel. You were mastering the skill, building the business, transforming your body, and securing the resources. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, you drop the result. You release the product, you show up with the physique. You launch the initiative, you reveal the asset. There is no warning, there is no long promo campaign. There is only the sudden, undeniable weight of a complete masterpiece. Look at the expression on their faces, the shock, the confusion, the absolute awe. They wonder how you did it. They wonder when you found the time. They wonder where you found the time. They wonder where that sudden explosion of results came from, because they never saw you coming. They did not see the foundation being poured. They did not see the thousands of silent hours you invested while they were sleeping. They only see the towering structure standing before them, now unshakable, impressive, and permanent. That is how a leader leaves a mark on this earth, not through loud declarations, but through undeniable, heavy-impact execution. Anchor this strategic identity into your core right now. I move in silence. My success speaks for me. Say it slowly to yourself in the quiet of your mind. And NW. I move in silence. My success speaks for me. Let that truth govern every decision you make today. When the urge to boast comes up, kill it. When the desire to share a half-finished idea rises, bury it. Put your head down, do the labor, and let the finished product make all the noise that ever needs to be made. Your mouth is closed. Your mind is locked. Your work is absolute. Choose secrecy over validation. Choose delayed gratification over instant applause. Choose stealth. Go back into the dark. Build your empire behind closed doors. Refuse to give the world a single glimpse of your power until it is completely forged and ready to alter your reality forever. Now, with your plans sealed in absolute secrecy and your drive contained within the dark, you are ready to master the ultimate currency of the modern world, directing your raw, undivided attention toward a single target until it breaks. Chapter 5. The Master of Attention. Look around you. Take a cold, objective assessment of the room you are sitting in, the device in your hand, and the invisible airwaves buzzing around your head at this exact second. You are living in the middle of a war zone. It is not a war fought with soldiers, tanks, or artillery. It is a quiet, ruthless, highly sophisticated war for the control of your mind. Millions of dollars, hyper-advanced algorithms, thousands of engineers, and thousands of psychology labs are working around the clock with a single, unified objective: to break your concentration, to shatter your focus into 1,000 fragmented pieces, to keep you distracted, reactive, addicted, and weak. They want your attention. They crave it because your attention is the most valuable natural resource on the planet. It is the raw material from which all wealth, all mastery, all art, all leadership, and all human greatness are constructed. And every day, without realizing it, you are giving it away for free. Think about the way you live. Think about the first thing you do when your eyes open in the morning. You do not greet the day. You do not sit in quiet reflection. You do not lay out your strategy for victory. You reach across the bed, pick up a small glass rectangle, and instantly feed your fresh, pristine morning awareness into a stream of useless noise. You look at notifications from strangers. You look at news engineered to make you angry. You look at photos designed to make you envious. You consume cheap, hyper-stimulating short videos that burn out your dopamine receptors before you have even poured a cup of water. By 7 o'clock in the morning, your mind is already exhausted. Your attention span is already fractured. You have allowed thousands of loud, meaningless voices to march right through your head and scatter your focus to the four winds. Then you sit down to work on your life's vision, and you wonder why you cannot focus. You wonder why you feel restless after 5 minutes of deep reading. You wonder why your brain craves constant stimulation, why you feel an intolerable urge to check your phone every 3 minutes, and why you cannot seem to finish the big projects that actually matter for your future. It is not because you lack talent. It is not because you lack intelligence. It is because you have allowed your attention muscle to turn into complete mush. You have trained your brain to be distracted, and now you are paying the price in wasted potential. Let this truth burn itself into your mind. Attention is not a productivity tool. Attention is the supreme currency of human greatness. Look at anyone who has ever built an empire, mastered a discipline, composed a masterpiece, or led a movement to victory. What was their defining characteristic? It was not just high energy. It was not just raw luck. It was the terrifying, extraordinary capacity to lock their attention onto a single target for hours, days, months, and years without drifting. When a master is at work, the rest of the universe ceases to exist. The phone does not exist. The gossip does not exist. The minor inconveniences do not exist. There is only the objective, the execution, and the deep, unbroken connection between the mind and the task. In that state of undivided focus, 10 minutes of work produces more value than 10 weeks of distracted effort. Now, look at the average person. They spend their entire lives in a state of continuous partial attention. They are half present at work. They are half present with their families. They are half present with their families. They are half present while reading a book. They live in a permanent gray cloud of mild brain fog, constantly switching tabs, constantly checking notifications, constantly seeking the next cheap hit of novelty. They are easy to defeat. They are easy to outwork. They are easy to lead, because a person who cannot control their own attention is a person who can be controlled by anyone with a shiny object. Why are you allowing yourself to be led around by a digital leash? Why are you surrendering your sovereignty to algorithms designed by people who do not care about your success? Look at what this addiction to distraction is costing you. Count the unfinished goals. Count the books you bought but never read. Count the business plans that died on page 3 because you lost focus and wandered away to look at a screen. Every time you switch tasks unnecessarily, every time you interrupt deep work to check a message, you leave a piece of your cognitive power behind. It is called attention residue. Your brain gets stuck in the gear between tasks, leaving you perpetually tired, perpetually slow, and perpetually behind schedule. This ends today. It is time to declare war on distraction. It is time to treat your attention with the same ruthless, protective intensity that a military commander uses to guard a vital stronghold. Stand up, focus. You rise now. Put down the phone. Look ahead. Zero in. From this moment forward, you must treat your attention as sacred. You do not hand it out to whoever asks for it. You do not leave it lying around for algorithms to steal. You reclaim it with violent, unyielding intent. When it is time to work, you eliminate every alternative. You put the phone in another room. You turn off the notifications. You close the 60 open tabs on your browser. You clear your desk until there is nothing left in front of you except the single hard task you have chosen to conquer. Sit in the silence. Do not run from the initial discomfort. When you first cut off the cheap stimulation, your brain will revolt. It will scream for excitement. It will tell you that you are bored, that you are missing out, that you need to check something right now. That discomfort is withdrawal. That is the feeling of your brain resetting its baselines. Embrace that discomfort. Sit right in the middle of it. Let the restlessness burn itself out. Do not move. Do not switch tabs. Do not touch the phone. Stand guard over your mind until the storm subsides and the deep water of focus returns. Notice the extraordinary shift that occurs when you force your mind to stay on one thing. The noise falls away. The anxiety dies down. The brain fog lifts. You enter the state of deep flow, the state where time seems to slow down, where complex problems solve themselves, where your performance multiplies, and where work ceases to feel like a grind and begins to feel like pure art. In flow, you operate at 10 times the speed of the distracted world around you. While others spend 2 hours drafting a simple email because they keep looking at their notifications, you build an entire strategy, solve a critical issue, and execute 3 massive tasks before lunch. Feel the relief of taking back your mind. You do not need to know what everyone is saying on the internet. You do not need to react to every breaking news story designed to keep you terrified. You do not need to respond to every message within 5 seconds of receiving it. You are not a slave to the chime of a device. You are the master of your awareness. Drop the addiction to novelty. Release the fear of missing out. The only thing you are missing out on when you are distracted is your own greatness. Feel the physical power returning to your eyes, your posture, and your presence. A person who possesses laser-like focus carries an undeniable weight in any room. When you talk to someone, you look them in the eye with undivided attention. When you speak, you are entirely present. When you work with single-pointed intensity. People will feel that presence. They will know, without you ever having to say a word, that they are standing in front of someone who cannot be easily swayed, bribed, or distracted. Feel the effortless flow when your attention becomes a laser beam, sharp, undivided, and unstoppable. Picture what happens to sunlight when it shines on a leaf. Sunlight is warm. It brightens the day, but spread out over a wide area, it barely raises the temperature of the ground. Now take that exact same sunlight and pass it through a magnifying glass. Focus every stray beam into a single pinpoint dot. What happens? That light instantly transforms into fire. It cuts through steel. It burns through wood. It creates heat that cannot be quenched. That is what happens to your intelligence, your energy, and your effort when you master your attention. You stop scattering your light into 1,000 directionless rays. You focus every ounce of your mental capacity onto a single objective, and you burn right through every obstacle that stands in your way. Picture yourself navigating your day with this level of mastery. You wake up with absolute clarity. You know your top 3 non-negotiable priorities for the day. You sit down, execute them one by one without a single second of distraction, and step away from your desk knowing you achieved total victory. You move through your life with a calm, sharp, crystalline focus that nothing can shake. Say this to yourself right now. Let it vibrate through your throat and carve it into the bedrock of your character. Where my focus goes, power follows. Say it again with total conviction. Where my focus goes, power follows. If you give your focus to drama, power follows the drama and you become weak. If you give your focus to excuses, power follows the excuses and you become a victim. If you give your focus to cheap entertainment, power follows the screens and you become passive. But when you lock your focus onto your goals, your discipline, your skills, and your vision, power has no choice but to follow you. It builds your body, it expands your wealth, it sharpens your mind, it elevates your leadership until you become an absolute force in your chosen domain. Your distractions are dead. Your phone is tamed, your mind is locked onto the target. Choose focus over novelty. Choose depth over shallow noise. Choose mastery over distraction. Step into this day with laser eyes. Look straight through the circus of the modern world. Ignore the noise screaming for your awareness and direct 100% of your mental energy toward building the life you were born to lead. Now, with your attention fully reclaimed and your focus turned into an impenetrable laser, you are ready to face the darkest, heaviest forces in your life, learning the sacred art of emotional alchemy and turning your pain, anger, and heartbreak into high-octane fuel for your ultimate rise. Chapter 6. Emotional Alchemy, Turning Pain into Fuel. Take a moment to sit quietly with yourself. Let your shoulders drop. Breathe in deeply and let it out slowly. I know you are carrying weight. I know there are moments when you look back at your journey and feel the heavy, silent ache of things that did not go the way they were supposed to go. I know about the betrayals that cut deep into your chest when you least expected them. I know about the rejections that left you staring at the ceiling at 2 in the morning, wondering why you were not enough. I know about the heartbreak that tore through your plans, the doors that were slammed directly in your face, the grief that felt like a ton of lead sitting on your ribs, and the quiet anger that burns in your stomach when you think about how unfair it all was. I see that pain. I validate it. You are not a machine made of cold plastic and copper wire. You are a living, breathing human being. Feeling broken after a devastating blow is not a sign of defect. It is a sign that you cared, that you invested your heart, and that you were brave enough to put yourself on the line in a dangerous world. It is completely human to hurt. It is natural to feel the sting of defeat. But what you do with that hurt next will define the entire trajectory of your life. Most people let pain ruin them. When life strikes them with heartbreak, rejection, or severe loss, they absorb the blow like a soft piece of wet clay. They let the impact dent their spirit permanently. They curl up around their wounds. They build entire identities around their trauma, endlessly telling the story of who hurt them, who left them, who failed them, and who cheated them out of their victory. They sit in the dark, nursing their injuries, letting the raw energy of their grief sour into bitterness, resentment, and helpless self-pity. They allow their pain to become their prison. They look at pain as a destructive falsifier that burns down their house and leaves them sitting in the ashes. But a true leader, a true master of self, looks at pain through a completely different lens. Pain is not destructive unless you give it permission to consume you. Pain is not a wall. Pain is not a dead end. Pain is raw, unrefined, high-octane human energy. Think about what an emotion actually is at its core. Strip away the story you attach to it. Strip away the names, the faces, the memories, and the dramatic narratives. What is left? Vibration, chemical signals, a sudden massive surge of biological fuel surging through your central nervous system. When you feel intense anger, intense heartbreak, or intense rejection, your body is suddenly flooded with a terrifying amount of raw power. Your heart beats faster, your blood pressure rises, your senses sharpen, your mind wakes up. That energy is neither good nor bad. It is completely neutral. It is just heat. If you leave raw iron ore sitting on the cold ground, it is useless dirt. It cannot hold the building together. It cannot form a blade. It cannot carry weight. But what happens when you take that rough, dirty ore and throw it directly into the heart of a blistering furnace? The heat burns away the impurities. The intense temperature melts down the rigid structure. The blast furnace turns soft dirt into molten metal, and under the crushing weight of the blacksmith's hammer, that molten liquid is forged into tempered, indestructible steel. The heat did not destroy the metal. The heat made the steel possible. You are the metal. Your pain is the blast furnace. Why are you wasting your furnace? Why are you taking the most intense energy your body can produce, the fiery rage of being doubted, the sharp agony of being abandoned, the deep burn of failure, and letting it sit inside you, turning into cold, toxic poison? Think about the sheer waste of human potential happening when you sit in self-pity. You have been handed a sudden, massive explosion of internal force, and instead of directing that force toward building your empire, mastering your craft, or forging an extraordinary body, you use it to feel sorry for yourself. You use it to scroll through old photos. You use it to play out fake arguments in your head. You use it to stay weak. Look at what you are doing with your fire. You are letting it burn your own house down from the inside out instead of using it to power the engine that carries you to the top of the mountain. It ends today. Welcome to the sacred art of emotional alchemy. Emotional alchemy is the conscious, deliberate transmutation of low-level emotional suffering into high-level physical execution. It is the refusal to let a single drop of life's friction go to waste. When the world throws mud at an emotional alchemist, they do not cry about their clean clothes. They use the mud to build a fortress. When the world hands them a torch to burn them down, they grab the flame and use it to light their path through the dark. Look back at every leader, every champion, every pioneer, and every legendary figure who ever left a permanent footprint in human history. Not a single one of them had an easy, comfortable life. They were defined by their scars. Look at the champion athlete who was cut from their high school team. Did they go home, cry under the blankets, and accept that they were not built for the sport? No. They took that humiliating rejection, locked themselves in an empty gym in the freezing cold of winter, and used the burning memory of that coach's voice as the exact fuel to shoot 10,000 shots every single night until they became unguardable. Look at the visionary founder whose first 3 companies went bankrupt, leaving them broke, mocked by their peers, and utterly discredited. Did they crawl into a hole and accept a quiet life of mediocrity? No. They gathered up the raw, burning shame of public failure, converted it into surgical focus, worked 18-hour days in total silence, and built an industry giant that changed the modern world. Look at the person who had their heart shattered into 1,000 pieces by someone who promised to love them forever. They did not drown in a bottle. They did not stay in bed for 3 months feeling worthless. They took the terrifying physical ache in their chest, channeled it directly into the gym, channeled it into their work, channeled it into their personal evolution, and rebuilt themselves into someone so powerful, so radiant, and so disciplined that their past could never even stand in their shadow again. They did not run from the fire, they ate the fire. And you are going to do the exact same thing right now. Stand up, focus, you rise now. Burn the pain. Use the furnace, rise from it, gather up every piece of pain you have been carrying around like a victim, drag it out into the light. Take the rejection you received from the person who did not see your worth. Take the disrespect from the boss who overlooked your hard work. Take the doubt from the friends who laughed behind your back when you shared your dreams. Take the grief from the losses that knocked you to your knees. Take the frustration of being broke, being stuck, or being out of shape. Do not hide from those memories. Do not try to pretend they did not happen. Do not try to wrap them in soft, sweet, toxic positivity. Look at them straight in the eyes. Feel the raw heat of them. Now, throw every single piece of that pain directly into your furnace. Let it melt down. Let the anger rise in your chest. Feel the heat flooding your shoulders, your jaw, and your hands. But do not let that heat leak out in loud arguments. Do not let it leak out in bitter social media posts. Do not let it leak out in cheap complaints. Trap the heat inside your pressure vessel. Lock the valve down tight, and then direct that entire concentrated beam of thermal energy straight into your daily execution. When you sit down at your desk to do the hard work, do not rely on soft, fluffy, fleeting motivation. Motivation is a fair weather friend. It disappears the moment the sky gets dark. Use your furnace instead when you feel tired, when you want to quit, when your mind tells you to slow down. Pull up the image of the person who doubted you. Pull up the memory of the door that was shut in your face. Pull up the feeling of the heartbreak that nearly broke your spirit. Feel that sharp, white-hot spark hit your soul and push harder. They gave you pain? Good. They gave you fire. Keep going. Don't stop. Turn the burn into fuel. Let every doubt thrown at you become another mile on your run. Let every rejection become another hour of deep work at your desk. Let every betrayal become 10 more pounds on the barbell. Let every ounce of disrespect become an obsession with absolute flawless excellence. This is how you become completely unshakable in a hostile world. When you master emotional alchemy, your enemies lose all power over you. They can no longer hurt you because they quickly realize that any weapon they throw at you simply becomes energy for your engine. If they praise you, you stay focused. If they criticize you, you use it as fuel. If they help you, you win. If they betray you, you use the heartbreak to double your output and win 10 times harder. You become a machine that feeds on friction. The harder life hits you, the faster you run. The darker the night gets, the brighter your furnace burns. Feel the massive, irreversible shift taking place in your spirit right now. Feel the heavy, suffocating weight of grief and self-pity lifting off your ribs, replaced by the dense, steady, iron certainty of purpose. You are no longer asking the universe for a smooth road. You are no longer begging life to treat you gently. You are no longer asking for smaller storms. You are demanding bigger sails. You are welcoming the heat. You are standing in the middle of your life with your arms wide open, telling the world to throw whatever it wants at you, knowing that every single strike will only forge your armor thicker. Drop the tear-soaked stories of your past. Burn the journals of self-pity. Erase the mental tapes of what should have been, what could have been, or who was supposed to stay. The past is dead ashes. The furnace is hot right now. The steel is ready to be forged. Imagine every door closed in your face becoming the exact momentum that launches you through your ultimate breakthrough. Picture yourself 5 years from this moment. You are standing at the absolute peak of your domain. You have built the enterprise. You have mastered the mind. You have built a physique made of iron. You possess a presence so calm, so commanding, and so deeply grounded that people can feel your authority from across the room. And as you look out over the vast landscape of your achievements, someone asks you how you did it. They ask you how you found the drive, how you sustained the momentum, and how you built such incredible strength. You will not tell them a story of easy luck, smooth paths, or endless sunshine. You will look back at the hardest years of your life, the years of tears, the years of heartbreak, the years of silent struggle, the years where it felt like everything was falling apart, and you will smile with deep, profound gratitude. You will realize that those doors closed in your face were not tragedies. They were divine interventions, keeping you away from small rooms so you could build an ocean. You will see that the heartbreak was not meant to destroy your heart, but to crack it wide open so it could hold 10 times more courage. You will realize that the pain was not your executioner. The pain was your sculptor. Look at that future identity standing tall in the light. See the posture. See the absolute lack of fear in the eyes. That person exists inside you right now, waiting for you to stop crying over the raw iron and start operating the furnace. Anchor this eternal truth into every fiber of your being. I am fueled by everything meant to destroy me. Say it with the force of thunder in your throat. I am fueled by everything meant to destroy me. Let the world bring its storms. Let the doubt rage. Let the rejections come. Let the road get steep and the nights get cold. None of it can stop you. None of it can stop you. None of it can stop you down. Because you are no longer a victim fighting against the weather. You are the storm itself, fueled by the very fire that was meant to burn you to the ground. Your tears are wiped. Your furnace is roaring. Your focus is absolute. Choose strength over sorrow. Choose action over agony. Choose victory over victimhood. Step into the heat of today with an unyielding smile. Take every drop of pain you have ever felt and burn it all as you claim your ultimate, undeniable greatness. Now, with your heart converted into a roaring furnace and your pain transformed into unstoppable drive, you are ready to march directly into the terrifying fog of risk, learning how to master the discipline of the unknown and make bold, surgical decisions under maximum pressure. Chapter 7. The Discipline of the Unknown. Look out into the horizon ahead of you. What do you see? You see clouds, you see mist, you see a vast shifting landscape of variables, unexpected shifts, unseen dangers, and unwritten outcomes. You see the unknown. The human mind was built for survival in a primitive world. Because of that ancient wiring, your brain craves one thing above all else: absolute certainty. It wants guarantees, it wants clean maps, it wants predictable outcomes, safe roads, illuminated pathways, and ironclad assurances before it consents to take a bold step forward. Your mind wants to know that if you leave your stable job, the business will succeed. It wants to know that if you invest your capital, the returns are guaranteed. It wants to know that if you open your heart, you will not be hurt. It wants to know that if you commit your energy to a massive vision, you will reach the summit without stumbling in the dark. And so, you wait. You sit at your desk, surrounded by spreadsheets, market reports, endless lists of pros and cons, and stacks of unread strategy guides. You tell yourself that you are doing research. You tell yourself that you are being responsible, cautious, and analytical. You tell yourself that as soon as you gather 5 more data points, as soon as you consult 3 more experts, as soon as the economic forecast settles, or as soon as you have a 100% complete picture of the landscape, then you will execute your decision. You call it thoroughness. But let us strip away the polite vocabulary and look at what it actually is. It is fear. It is cowardice wearing a suit of logic. It is the insidious trap of analysis, paralysis, and it is a silent killer of human leadership. While you're sitting in safety, waiting for the fog to clear, analyzing every possible point of failure until the opportunity rots in your hands, someone else with half your intelligence and twice your courage is stepping straight into the mist. They are taking the market share. They are claiming the territory. They are leading the movement. They are winning the prize while you are still editing your risk management plan. The world does not belong to those who wait for perfect information. Perfect information does not exist. If you wait until you have 100% of the information before you make a move, the opportunity has already passed you by. By the time a path becomes completely clear, lit up with streetlights and paved with smooth concrete, it is no longer an opportunity. It is a crowded highway filled with average people competing for scraps. The high ground, the massive breakthroughs, the market dominance, and the legendary victories are always claimed in the fog, long before the sun comes up to show the rest of the world where the road was hiding. Take a hard look at how you make decisions in your daily life. How much time do you lose in hesitation? How many hours, days, or months do you spend agonizing over choices that could be made in 10 seconds? Think about the energy you drain out of your brain through chronic overthinking. You rerun scenarios. You worry about hypothetical disasters that never happen. You simulate failure 1,000 times before you even launch the attempt. This constant hesitation creates a profound weakness in your posture. It communicates to your team, your organization, your family, and worst of all to your own subconscious mind that you do not trust yourself. It signals that you are terrified of making a mistake, that you lack the courage to carry the weight of the wrong choice, and that you would rather let time make your decisions for you than step up and take responsibility for your own destiny. A leader who cannot decide under conditions of extreme ambiguity is not a leader. They are a spectator holding a title. Look at the greatest military commanders, corporate visionaries, and historic figures who ever navigated through massive crises. They rarely had the luxury of time, clear data, or complete intelligence. They operated in what military strategists call the fog of war. They received fragmented reports, conflicting accounts, and incomplete information while the clock was ticking. The stakes were sky high, and lives or fortunes hung in the balance. How did they win? They did not panic. They did not wait for the fog to magically lift. They mastered the discipline of the unknown. They understood a fundamental law of elite performance. They operated on what is known as the 50-70 rule. If you make a decision with less than 50% of the information, you are shooting in the dark and taking reckless, uncalculated gambles. But if you wait until you have more than 70% of the information, you are too late. The sweet spot of true leadership lives precisely in that narrow, terrifying window between 50 and 70%. In that space, you take what little data you have, apply sharp logic, consult your core principles, listen to your battle-tested intuition, and then you strike with absolute, uncompromising velocity. You do not hesitate. You do not look back. You do not second-guess yourself midway through the execution. You make the call, and then you make the call right through the sheer force of your follow-through. If the initial direction turns out to be slightly off, a decisive leader does not freeze in shame. They adjust their course on the fly while maintaining forward momentum. A moving vehicle can be steered. A stationary car sitting in the garage with its engine idling cannot be navigated anywhere, no matter how hard you turn the wheel. Momentum is the ultimate antidote to uncertainty. Motion creates clarity. Why are you sitting with your engine idling? Why are you demanding that the universe give you guarantees that no human being in history has ever received? Look at the cost of your indecision. Look at the projects sitting in half-finished states on your hard drive. Look at the conversations you have delayed. Look at the career shifts, the financial moves, and the physical transformations you have put off because you were waiting for a comfortable, risk-free entry point. There are no risk-free entry point. Everything of value in this life is hidden behind a wall of risk. If you want peace, you have to risk conflict. If you want high returns, you have to risk capital. If you want deep authority, you have to risk standing alone in the dark when everyone else is doubting your direction. The willingness to carry the weight of risk is the exact price of admission for personal greatness. If you refuse to pay that price, you automatically forfeit your right to the reward. It ends today. No more endless deliberation. No more hiding behind committees, spreadsheets, and endless research. Stand up, focus, you rise now, decide now, cut off escape routes, walk forward, start treating decision-making as a muscle that must be trained with rapid, decisive reps every single day. Stop delaying small decisions, make them in seconds. Choose the meal, pick the path, write the email, set the meeting, and move on. Eliminate the decision fatigue that is cluttering your mind so that when you face massive, high-stakes moments of uncertainty, your decision engine is warm, fast, and surgical. When you make a choice, burn the ships behind you. When ancient generals landed their armies on hostile shores to liberate a territory, the very first order they gave upon hitting the beach was to set fire to their own fleet of ships. They stood on the sand, watching the wooden hulls burn down to the waterline, sending thick black smoke rising into the sky. Think about the psychological shift that happened in the minds of those soldiers as they watched their only way home melt into the ocean. The options were instantly flattened. There was no retreating. There was no backing out if the weather got cold or the battle got hard. There was no plan B to fall back on if things did not go smoothly. There was only one direction left on the map, forward, through the enemy, to total victory. How many plan Bs have you left open in your life? How many back doors have you left unlocked so you can slip away quietly the moment the unknown gets uncomfortable? Those escape routes are destroying your execution. As long as your mind knows there is a safe, easy exit strategy, it will never summon the terrifying superhuman focus required to break through heavy resistance. It will always choose the exit when the pressure gets high, cut off the escape routes, burn the ships. Tell the world what you are doing. Lock in the non-refundable investment, sign the contract, resign from the comfortable mediocrity, and force your back against the wall. When failure is no longer an acceptable option, your mind will discover gears of intelligence, creativity, speed, and endurance that you never knew existed inside you. Step straight into the center of the fog. Do not wait for the fear of the unknown to vanish before you take the step. Fear is not a signal to turn back. Fear is simply the compass pointing toward the exact territory you need to conquer to grow your empire. When you feel that cold knot of uncertainty in your stomach, that is not a sign of danger. That is not a sign of danger. That is the feeling of your boundaries expanding. Walk directly toward the thing that terrifies you. Step onto the dark stage. Launch the unrefined product. Make the high-stakes offer. Speak the hard truth. Take the leap before you feel ready, and trust that your wings will open on the way down. Notice the immediate power that fills your spirit the moment you stop running from uncertainty and start running straight into it. The anxiety that used to paralyze you dissolves into raw, focused adrenaline. You realize that the unknown is not an empty, hostile void filled with monsters. The unknown is uncarved marble. It is an open canvas waiting for a leader with enough courage to pick up the chisel and carve their own reality into it. While average people see uncertainty as a threat to their security, you start seeing uncertainty as your greatest competitive advantage. Why? Because you know that 99% of the population is terrified of the dark. They will run away from uncertainty, back to the safety of their small routines, which means that when you step boldly into the fog, the field is wide open. There is almost zero competition in the unknown, because only the brave have the stomach to walk there. Breathe in this cold, quiet authority. Release the need for outside approval, safety nets and guarantees. Drop the weak habit of asking everyone around you what they think you should do with your life. Stop seeking permission from people who do not have to live with the consequences of your choices. You carry the ultimate authority inside your own chest. Your instincts have been sharpened by every challenge you have ever survived. Trust them. Picture yourself walking into the fog of uncertainty with absolute calm, knowing your footing is solid because you trust yourself. Visualize a moment in the near future where everything around you is chaotic, unpredictable, and entirely unmapped. A major crisis hits your industry. A sudden market crash liquidates standard playbooks. A personal disaster strips away your safety nets. Everyone around you is frozen in terror, weeping over their lost certainty, begging for someone to give them a map, and paralyzed by the sheer weight of the unknown. And there you stand. Your breath is slow and deep. Your eyes are calm and settled. Your hands are completely steady. You do not have a pre-packaged map, and you do not need one. Because you have trained yourself to operate in the dark, you do not look outside for direction. You look inside. You look at the fog not with fear, but with the cold, calculating eye of a conqueror stepping onto new territory. You take a single step forward into the darkness. Then another. With every step you take, the ground beneath your feet hardens into solid rock, not because the path was already there, but because your sheer, unshakable confidence creates the road as you walk it. People will fall in line behind you. They will follow you through the storm, not because you promised them that the road would be easy, but because they saw a human being who possessed the rare, terrifying courage to navigate the unknown without flinching. You become the compass. You become the lighthouse. You become the definitive force that turns chaos into order. Engrave this supreme affirmation onto the mantle of your mind right now and let it vibrate through your voice with total, unyielding authority. I do not fear the unknown. I command it. Say it again, louder and deeper, until it shakes the quiet of the room around you. I do not fear the unknown. I command it. Let that truth become your default operating system for the rest of your days on this earth. The unknown is not your master. It is your raw material. It does not control your fate. You use it to write your destiny. You do not sit around praying for smooth waters. You learn to sail your ship through the wildest seas with absolute precision and joy. Your spreadsheets are closed. Your hesitations are burned. Your decision is locked. Choose speed over safety. Choose courage over analysis. Choose action over fear. Walk into today with your chin up. Step straight off the edge of your comfortable certainty. Plunge into the cold fog of the unknown and build your kingdom in the exact territory that cowards were too afraid to explore. Now, with your mind hardened against the terror of risk and your decision engine running at maximum speed, you are ready to undergo the ultimate psychological transformation. executing the core identity shift, shedding your temporary willpower, and permanently stepping into the skin of the person who wins systematically. Chapter 8. The Identity Shift. Take a moment right now to look at who you believe you are, not who you wish you were, not the idealized version of yourself you present on your best days. Look at the deep, subconscious narrative you carry about your own worth, your own limits, your own potential, and your own position in this world. There is a fundamental flaw in the way most people approach personal growth, performance, and leadership. They believe that success is purely a matter of effort. They believe that if they just push harder, work longer hours, read more books, or force themselves through another brutal week of grit, they will eventually achieve the life they desire. They rely entirely on willpower. They treat willpower as if it were an endless fuel source, a brute force tool that can override decades of internal programming through sheer muscle and strain. And every single time, eventually, they fail. They start a new routine with massive enthusiasm on Monday morning. They wake up early, eat clean, execute their work, and feel a surge of temporary pride. But by Thursday night, the fatigue sets in, the friction increases, the old urges return, the temptation to drop the standard grows louder, and within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month, the temporary burst of energy evaporates, the old habits crawl back into place, and they find themselves right back where they started, frustrated, exhausted, and wondering why they lack the discipline to stay on top. Listen to this truth and let it settle into the deepest layer of your psychology. Willpower is a finite biological resource. Willpower will always inevitably fail you if your underlying identity remains unchanged. You cannot outwork a self-image that believes it is weak. You cannot outdiscipline an internal belief system that secretly views you as an imposter, a failure, or an average performer. Think about the way human behavior actually works. You will never consistently act in a way that contradicts your core identity. Your mind will always seek cognitive harmony between who you believe you are and how you behave in the physical world. If you view yourself as a smoker who is trying to quit, your mind still holds the core identity of a smoker. When stress hits, when temptation arises, your underlying identity asserts itself, and you revert to what feels natural to your baseline self. But if you view yourself as a non-smoker, there is zero internal debate when offered a cigarette. You do not need willpower to say no. You say no effortlessly because that is simply not who you are. Now look at your goals through that exact same lens. Are you a person who is trying to build a massive business? Are you a person who is trying to get into extraordinary physical shape? Are you a person who is trying to become a disciplined leader, a master of focus, or a high-performing conqueror? As long as you are trying, you are operating from a stance of separation. You are standing on one side of a deep canyon looking across at the person who wins and attempting to drag your old, heavy, doubt-filled identity across the gap using the fragile rope of willpower. Every step feels like an uphill battle because you are fighting against your own self-image. You are treating success as an external coat you put on during working hours rather than the core marrow of your bones. It is time to stop trying. It is time to stop across the canyon permanently. It is time for the identity shift. You must undergo a complete, radical rewiring of your subconscious self-definition. You must strip away the old narrative, the story that you are struggling, that you are disadvantaged, that you are inconsistent, or that you are searching for your breakthrough, and replace it with the cold, absolute, non-negotiable reality of the new self. You do not achieve success to feel like a winner. You become a winner on the inside first, and then success becomes the natural, inevitable, systematic footprint of your daily existence. Look back at the old identity you have been dragging around like a ball and chain. Where did that self-image even come from? It was built out of childhood insecurities. It was assembled from the opinions of teachers who did not understand your fire, peers who wanted you to stay small, past failures that you mistook for permanent character flaws, and society's constant pressure to accept a quiet, safe, unremarkable life. You accepted those external inputs as truth. You built a mental cage out of other people's limitations, stepped inside, locked the door, and spent years calling that cage your personality. Why are you letting dead memories and second-hand opinions dictate the boundaries of your future? Why are you living as a tenant in a small, weak identity that was handed to you by a world that profits off your self-doubt? Look at the cost of carrying that fake small identity. Look at how it makes you shrink when you walk into high-stakes rooms. Look at how it makes you hesitate when it is time to state your price, demand respect, take massive risks, or claim authority. Look at how it makes you apologize for having high standards, intense drive, and an uncompromising refusal to settle for average outcomes. It ends today. The old coat is stripped off. The cage is dismantled. Stand up. Focus. You rise now. Drop the act. Claim the crown. Be the standard. From this moment forward, you must completely abandon the concept of trying to win. You are no longer an outsider looking in. You are the architect, the owner, and the ultimate authority of your reality. You step into the shoes of the person who wins systematically, not as a future goal, but as an immediate, present tense, operational fact. What does the person who wins systematically actually look like? The person who wins does not lie in bed arguing with the alarm clock for 20 minutes every morning. They do not debate whether they should work out, whether they should execute their deep work, or whether they should keep their promises to themselves. Those actions are not heroic tasks that require emotional speeches or massive willpower pumps. Those actions are simply the baseline hygiene of their daily identity. They do them automatically, ruthlessly, and consistently because that is who they are. When a person who wins steps into a room, they do not look around nervously seeking validation, approval, or permission from others to occupy space. They carry a deep, quiet, unshakable presence. Their posture is erect, their breath is measured, their shoulders are set back, their eyes are calm, grounded, and clear. They radiate a frequency of absolute self-ownership that commands respect without ever having to raise a voice or make a loud demonstration. They do not ask for a seat at the table. They build their own table, or they walk in and take the head of the room through the sheer weight of their battle-tested competence. Notice the massive psychological freedom that floods your entire nervous system when you execute this shift. The internal war ceases, the friction evaporates. The constant, exhausting debate in your head, can I do this? Am I good enough? What if I fail? Is instantly replaced by a simple, quiet, unstoppable reality. This is who I am. This is what I do. Victory is my natural baseline. You stop treating discipline as a punishment you have to endure, and start treating discipline as the highest expression of your self-respect. You do not eat clean because you are on a restrictive diet. You eat clean because you treat your body like an elite temple of power. You do not work 12 hours on your vision because you are forcing yourself to hustle. You work because your standard of excellence demands that you leave nothing on the table. You become the standard. When people around you operate with sloppy habits, late arrivals, broken promises, and cheap excuses, you do not drop to their level to make them feel comfortable. You hold the line. You raise the bar. Your very presence forces everyone in your sphere of influence to look at their own mediocrity, drop their small gains, and step up their performance. You become a living, breathing benchmark for what is possible when a human being completely eliminates internal weakness and steps into absolute self-mastery. Look at yourself in the mirror. See the posture of a leader who no longer asks for permission to exist. Look straight into your own eyes in that glass reflection. Look past the surface. Look deep into your own spirit. Strip away the old titles, the old excuses, the old fears, and the old victim stories you used to tell yourself. See the line of your jaw. See the set of your shoulders. See the sharp, unbroken light of absolute clarity returning to your gaze. That is not the face of someone who is begging the world for a chance. That is not the face of someone who is afraid of hard times, high pressure, or steep hills. That is the face of a conqueror. That is the face of a human being who has decided that their highest ambition is the only acceptable destination for their life. You do not need the world to validate you. You do not need an award, a title, a manager, or a crowd of cheering fans to tell you that you have arrived. You validate yourself. You crown yourself in the quiet of your own mind, and then you step out into the physical world and demand that reality align with your internal decree. Feel the electric surge of absolute truth hitting your soul right now. Feel the old, fragile, doubt-filled self dissolving into dead dust, while the dense iron core of your new self takes absolute, permanent possession of your mind, your body, and your voice. You are not trying to be great. You are great. Stand tall, shoulders back. Breathe it in. You are the standard now. Breathe it deep into your lungs. Hold that air in your chest. Feel the heat of that reality expanding through your blood, reaching your fingertips, locking your knees, and hardening your focus into diamond clarity. This is not fake arrogance. This is not loud, hollow chest beating. This is the calm, terrifying, quiet authority of a human being who has finally remembered who they are. You are the supreme authority of your experience. You are the sole writer of your story. You are the sovereign master of your mind, and you have officially stripped your past of all voting rights over your future. Repeat this eternal identity anchor to yourself again and again until it is carved into the foundation of your subconscious mind. For the rest of your natural life, I am becoming the person who wins. Say it with absolute, unyielding conviction. Say it until your vocal cords vibrate with the force of an oath written in stone. I am becoming the person who wins. Let that identity govern every single micro-decision you make today. When you choose your food, ask yourself, is this what the person who wins eats? When you manage your time, ask yourself, is this how the person who wins executes their day? When you step into a high-stakes meeting, step in as the person who wins. When you face a devastating setback, handle it with the cold, surgical composure of the person who wins. Your past identity is dead. Your excuses are erased. Your standard is absolute. Choose mastery over mediocrity. Choose authority over doubt. Choose the new self. Walk into today with the posture of a king. Execute your duties with the precision of a master, and show the world what happens when a human being steps completely out of the shadow of trying and claims their ultimate, systematic victory. Now, with your mind permanently rewired and your identity locked into high-performance mastery, you are ready to build the daily operating structure that turns your vision into a reality, mastering the architecture of daily dominance and securing micro-victories hour after hour. Chapter 9: The Architecture of Daily Dominance. Look at the clock on the wall. Listen to the quiet rhythmic ticking of the second hand. Tick, tick. With every single beat of that clock, a fraction of your life vanishes forever. It does not pause. It does not slow down for your hurt feelings, your fatigue, your confusion, or your unfulfilled dreams. It drains away silently, ruthlessly, and continuously. Time is the only truly non-renewable resource you possess on this earth. You can lose millions of dollars and make every cent back through intelligence and strategy. You can lose your physical fitness and rebuild your body into an iron monument through discipline. You can lose your reputation and forge a new, stronger identity through battle-tested character. But you cannot buy back a single wasted second. When a second is gone, it is burned to ashes. It enters the dark vault of history, completely beyond your reach, leaving behind only one thing: the cold, undeniable record of what you chose to do with that moment. Now look at how the vast majority of human beings treat this priceless, finite currency. They scatter it like cheap dust. They wake up without a plan. They float through their hours in a state of passive reactivity, responding to whatever notification hits their phone, whatever fire breaks out in their inbox, or whatever mood happens to drift into their mind. They spend hours scrolling through the lives of strangers, arguing about things they cannot control, sitting in mindless distraction, and delaying the hard, necessary tasks that would actually alter their destiny. Then, at the end of the year, they look around at their stagnant lives, their soft bodies, their unchanged bank accounts, and their unfulfilled visions. And they ask, where did the time go? Why haven't I achieved my breakthrough? The answer is simple, raw, and devastatingly clear. You did not lose your breakthrough in one massive, dramatic catastrophe. You lost it in 20-minute increments, every single day, across hundreds of unguided hours. Greatness is not a lightning bolt that strikes out of a clear blue sky. Leadership is not an accident born of raw luck or sudden genius. An extraordinary life is nothing more than the compound interest of ordinary days, executed with extraordinary, relentless discipline. You do not build a skyscraper by attempting to place a 40-story building on the ground all at once. You build a skyscraper by laying a single, perfectly square, completely solid brick every single day without fail, regardless of the heat, regardless of the cold, and regardless of how you feel when you wake up. If every brick is laid with absolute precision, the towering structure becomes an inevitable mathematical certainty. It is time to design the blueprint for your days. It is time to step into the architecture of daily dominance. To master your life, you must stop looking at your vision as a massive, distant, overwhelming mountain sitting 10 years in the future. You must shrink your focus down to the only operating arena where you actually possess real power the next 24 hours. If you can dominate a single day from the exact second your eyes open in the dark morning to the exact second your head hits the pillow at night, you have discovered the master key to human performance. Because a dominated day stacked on top of another dominated day stacked on top of 7 straight days creates an unstoppable week. 4 dominated weeks create a legendary month. 12 dominated months create an undeniable year. And a decade of dominated years creates an empire that alters your family lineage forever. Your entire future is hidden inside your daily structure. Look at your current daily habits with cold, surgical honesty. What does your architecture look like right now? Is it built out of intentional, non-negotiable rituals, sharp focus, high-impact execution, and deep physical discipline? Or is it a chaotic mess of weak mornings, distracted afternoons, late-night cheap entertainment, and broken promises to yourself? If you continue to live the exact same day you lived yesterday, repeated 365 times, where will you be next year? Will you be stronger, richer, sharper, and more authoritative? Or will you be standing in the exact same spot, wearing the exact same excuses, carrying the exact same weight, and weeping over the exact same missed opportunities? Why are you leaving the design of your days to chance? Why are you approaching the only life you have with a sloppy, unstructured, undisciplined schedule that guarantees mediocrity? Look at what this lack of daily structure is costing you. It is stealing your self-respect. Every time you set a goal for your day and fail to execute it because you got distracted, your subconscious mind registers that failure. It records a vote against your character. It whispers to you that you are unreliable, that your word means nothing, and that you lack the internal authority to govern your own actions. This is why your confidence feels fragile, because your daily execution does not support the big claims coming out of your mouth. It ends today. The blueprints are redrawn. The structure is locked. Stand up, focus. You rise now, win the morning. Control the night. Execute every hour. Your transformation begins in the very first 60 seconds of your day. The morning is the sacred anchor of your daily architecture. How you handle the morning determines the trajectory, the focus, and the emotional tone of every hour that follows. When the alarm sounds in the quiet dark of the early morning, you face your very first battle of the day. It is a pure, unadulterated micro-test of your character. The alarm goes off, and the weak, comfortable voice of your old self instantly speaks up, begging for 9 more minutes of sleep, asking you to press the snooze button, and telling you that it does not matter if you start your day late just this once. That snooze button is an invitation to failure. Every time you hit the snooze button, the very first action you take in your day is a surrender. You tell your mind that your comfort is more important than your vision. You tell your subconscious that your goals are optional. You start your morning on your back, retreating from a simple clock, and you spend the rest of the day trying to recover from a position of weakness. Kill the snooze button permanently. When the alarm sounds, you do not debate. You do not negotiate with your fatigue. You do not lay there in the dark analyzing how you feel. Your feet hit the cold floor instantly. Your chest opens and you step directly into your morning ritual. Your morning ritual must be a non-negotiable sequence of high-power anchors designed to wake up your body, prime your mind, and secure your first micro-victories before the rest of the world has even opened their eyes. Drink a massive glass of water to hydrate your system. Expose your eyes to early light. Move your physical body until sweat breaks out on your skin, not because you feel like working out, but because physical movement floods your brain with dopamine, cortisol regulation, and sharp cognitive clarity. Spend 10 quiet minutes locking your mind onto your top priorities for the day. No phone, no social media, no email, no news. Protect the first hour of your day as an untouchable, sacred space where you build your internal strength before you step out to face the world. When you win the morning, you step out into the day carrying the momentum of a conqueror. You are already 1-0 against the world before breakfast. Then comes the battle of the hours, time blocking your day with surgical precision. Stop working off sloppy, vague to-do lists that mix high-priority strategic objectives with cheap, minor errands. A to-do list without assigned time blocks is nothing more than a wish list for failure. Divide your daily working window into explicit, protected blocks of deep execution. Assign your absolute hardest, most uncomfortable, highest impact task to your very first working block, the eat the frog rule. Do not spend your fresh morning mental energy answering low-value emails or sitting in pointless meetings. Attack the core objective first. Attack the complex strategy, the hard writing, the heavy financial structure, or the difficult sales outreach while your focus is at its absolute peak. During these execution blocks, you operate with single-pointed intensity, you turn off notifications, you eliminate interruptions. You lock your eyes on the task and force every drop of your cognitive capacity into the work. You work in bursts of ruthless, undivided attention, followed by brief, intentional rests to reset your baseline. Notice how much work you accomplish when you operate within an intentional, time-blocked structure. Tasks that used to take you an entire chaotic week are demolished in 2 hours of pure, uninterrupted flow. You begin to produce a volume and quality of work that leaves your peers, your competitors, and your industry stunned. And as the sun goes down and the day reaches its conclusion, you step into the final, non-negotiable pillar of your daily architecture, the evening audit. Most people let their evenings bleed away in mindless distraction, falling asleep in front of a glowing screen while consuming cheap media, leaving their minds hyperstimulated, anxious, and unanchored. A true leader controls the night. Before you sleep, you pull out your journal and conduct a cold, objective, 5-minute audit of your execution over the past 16 hours. You review your day with total honesty, free from self-pity and free from delusional excuses. Ask yourself the hard questions: where did I win today? Which tasks did I execute with excellence? Where did I leak power today? Where did I lose focus, hesitate, or allow cheap distractions to steal my momentum? What is my primary, non-negotiable objective for tomorrow morning? When you perform the evening audit, you close the open tabs of your mind. You process the lessons of the day, lock in the micro-victories, identify the leaks, and lay out your exact blueprint for the next morning before your head touches the pillow. You go to sleep with a clear mind, a settled spirit, and a precise plan of action, knowing that your subconscious mind will spend the night organizing your strategy while you rest. Feel the quiet, profound peace that settles over your life when you embrace this level of daily structure. The constant background anxiety of unfulfilled duties vanishes. The feeling of being perpetually overwhelmed, behind schedule, and pulled in 100 directions at once dies. You are no longer reacting to life, you are engineering it. You walk through your hours with a calm, steady, deliberate cadence, knowing that every single hour has a purpose and every single daily ritual is carrying you closer to your ultimate vision. Breathe in this disciplined rhythm. Drop the chaotic habits. Stop letting your days happen to you, and start executing your days for you. Visualize 365 days of relentless execution, stack upon stack. Where will you be this time next year? Close your eyes for a moment and picture that reality. Imagine 365 consecutive days of winning the morning, 365 days of stepping past the snooze button with absolute conviction. 365 days of protecting your deep work hours, eliminating cheap distractions, and executing your hardest tasks first. 365 evenings of auditing your work, sharpening your strategy, and laying down to sleep with the quiet pride of a day fully earned. Look at what that level of execution produces over a single year. Look at your body forged by 365 days of disciplined movement and clean fuel, standing lean, strong, and glowing with raw health. Look at your mind sharpened by hundreds of hours of deep focus, holding massive knowledge, surgical clarity, and unbreakable peace. Look at your enterprise, your career, and your wealth expanded by a relentless compounding avalanche of daily micro-victories that your lazy competitors could not match if they had 10 lifetimes. You look at that one-year reality, and you realize that you did not need a miracle. You did not need a secret shortcut. You did not need divine luck. You simply needed the cold, beautiful, unstoppable mathematics of a dominated daily structure. That reality is not an unreachable dream. It is waiting for you on the other side of tomorrow morning's alarm clock. Anchor this non-negotiable truth into your daily operating identity right now. My daily habits guarantee my ultimate victory. Say it out loud with absolute, steady certainty. My daily habits guarantee my ultimate victory. Let that phrase become the iron law of your daily existence. When fatigue tells you to skip your evening audit, remember the law. When temptation tells you to waste 2 hours on mindless media, remember the law. When your old self begs for the snooze button in the cold morning, remember the law. Your victory is not a distant wish. It is a mathematical guarantee written by the small, disciplined choices you make hour after hour, day after day. Your schedule is drawn. Your structure is locked. Your blueprint is absolute. Choose discipline over chaos. Choose structure over reactivity. Choose daily dominance. Step into tomorrow morning with your eyes wide open. Conquer the alarm, execute your architecture with ruthless precision, and build your ultimate greatness one perfectly laid brick at a time. Now, with your daily architecture locked into place and your hours operating at maximum efficiency, you are ready to face the absolute wall of exhaustion, learning how to tap into your deepest reserves of relentlessness when your body wants to quit and everyone else is breaking down. Chapter 10. Unshakable Relentlessness. Listen to the sound of your own breath when you are pushed to the absolute edge. Feel the heavy, burning weight in your lungs. Feel the sharp, throbbing ache in your muscles. Feel the cold sweat dripping down your neck, and listen to the deafening, frantic scream rising from every nerve ending in your body, begging you, pleading with you, demanding that you stop running, drop the weight, close your eyes, let go. You have given enough. Nobody will blame you if you quit now. Everyone understands that you reached your limit. You know that point. You have been there before. Every human being who has ever dared to reach for something high, build something great, or break out of a small life eventually arrives at that exact, terrifying wall. It is the point of total exhaustion. It is the moment where your initial enthusiasm has completely burned out. The motivation that felt so bright and warm when you started 3 months ago is long gone. The vision board on your wall looks distant and meaningless. Your energy is drained, your resources are depleted, your supporters have grown quiet. Unexpected obstacles have smashed into your plans, doubling the workload while cutting your timeline in half. Everything in your physical body, everything in your emotional state, and everything in your environment is screaming at you that you have reached the absolute outer boundary of human capacity. This is where 99% of the population collapses. They hit the wall, they listen to the scream of their fatigue, they convince themselves that they have no fuel left in the tank, and they quietly drop their hands. They rationalize their surrender. They tell themselves that they gave it a good try, that the timing was wrong, or that the mountain was simply too steep to climb. They step off the track, sit down in the dirt, and spend the rest of their lives wondering what would have happened if they had found a way to take just one more step. Understand this fundamental truth right now. The wall is not a dead end. The wall is not proof that you are defeated. The wall is a psychological barrier engineered by your brain to protect you from discomfort long before you are in any actual danger. Your mind is a survival mechanism. Its primary evolutionary job is not to make you rich, strong, famous, or extraordinary. Its job is to keep you safe, comfortable, and alive. When you push yourself into extreme effort, when you work 18-hour days, when you push your body past physical exhaustion, when you face relentless stress without breaking, your brain gets terrified. It senses the massive drain on your energy reserves, panics, and sends out distress signals. It creates intense feelings of fatigue, brain fog, anxiety, and despair. It turns up the volume on your internal doubt to trick you into stopping before you drain your deep survival fuel. Science calls it the central governor theory. Marine Corps operators call it the 40% rule. When your mind tells you that you are completely done, when you feel so exhausted that you cannot possibly write another sentence, make another call, run another mile, or survive another week of pressure, you are actually only at 40% of your true biological capacity. You still have 60% left in the vault. 60% of untapped, raw human endurance waiting in the dark reserve tanks of your spirit. Most human beings live their entire lives and die without ever opening those reserve tanks even once. They live and die in the comfortable, shallow top 40% of their potential. They quit the second the pressure gets uncomfortable, never knowing the terrifying, majestic power that lives on the other side of total exhaustion. How much longer are you going to run your life on 20% of your capability? How many times are you going to stop right at the threshold of your greatest breakthrough simply because your body felt tired? Look at what happens if you quit now. Look at the tragedy of turning back when you are 3/4 of the way up the mountain. You have already paid the price. You have already put in the long, silent hours. You have already suffered the heartbreak, carried the stress, and endured the isolation. Why would you pay 90% of the price for greatness, only to walk away right before the yield? Quitting at the wall does not eliminate your pain. It simply guarantees that all the pain you endured up to that point was completely meaningless. It ends now. Break through the governor. Unlock the vault. Stand up. Focus. You rise now. Take one more step. Do not yield. Outlast them all. When you hit the wall, you do not look at the remaining 10 miles ahead of you. You do not think about the next 6 months of hard labor. Thinking about the entire remaining distance when you are exhausted will crush your spirit. You shrink your focus down to the single, immediate physical action right in front of your face. You do not run a mile. You take one more step. You do not write another chapter. You type one more sentence. You do not survive another year. You master the next 60 seconds. You break your endurance down into micro increments of relentless execution. You tell your mind, I do not need to finish the whole mountain right now. I just need to take this one step. And when that step is landed, I will take one more. And when that step is done, I will take one more. And while you are taking those tiny, relentless, methodical steps, something extraordinary begins to happen deep within your nervous system. The second wind. The second wind is not a myth. It is a physiological reality that occurs when you force your mind to bypass the brain's false safety alarms. When you refuse to quit at the wall, when you march straight through the wall with cold, mechanical discipline, your central governor realizes that its trick did not work. It realizes that you are not stopping, and so to keep you going, your brain unlocks the reserve tanks. It floods your bloodstream with a fresh wave of endorphins, adrenaline, and clean energy. The brain fog suddenly clears. The heavy fatigue lifts off your chest. Your heart rate settles into a deep, powerful rhythm. You enter a state of transcendent endurance where pain ceases to feel like a threat and begins to feel like pure fuel. You realize that you are no longer running on fragile physical motivation. You are running on raw, unadulterated spirit. Look around you at the landscape of your field, your business, and your competition. Most of your competitors are talented when conditions are good. They are fast when the sun is shining. They are enthusiastic when the strategy is easy and the profits are rolling in. But the moment the economy shifts, the moment the project hits heavy friction, the moment the workload demands brutal, late-night endurance, they break. They look for exits. They make excuses. They slow down to a crawl. This is your ultimate competitive advantage. You do not win by being smarter, luckier, or more gifted than everyone else. You win because you are completely, utterly impossible to quit out. You win because you have trained yourself to thrive in the exact dark, exhausting territory where other people fall apart. When the storm hits and everyone else is looking for shelter, you put your head down and step straight into the wind. You outlast them. You outdiscipline them. You outwork them. You stay on the field 5 minutes longer than anyone else is willing to stay. Day after day, week after week, until you stand alone as the undisputed master of the territory. Feel the absolute terrifying freedom of becoming unbreakable. What can the world possibly do to a human being who refuses to stop? How can failure touch someone who treats every defeat as a warm-up, every setback as fuel, and every wall as a gateway to their reserve power? You cannot defeat a mind that does not accept defeat. You cannot break a spirit that finds its deepest joy in the middle of the hardest fight. Drop the soft expectation that life should be easy. Stop wishing that the workload was lighter, that the pressure was lower, or that the obstacles were smaller. You are tired. Push further. You are exhausted. Find the deep gear. Stand up. Focus. You rise now. Breathe in the fire. Expand your chest. Shake the fatigue out of your wrists. Check your posture. Lock your eyes onto the objective. There is no white flag in your pocket. There is no surrender contract in your desk. There is no exit strategy in your heart. You are in this fight until the vision is fully realized, until the objective is secured, and until the kingdom is built. Imagine standing at the finish line, knowing you didn't conquer because it was easy, but because you refused to break. Picture that moment of ultimate victory. You are standing at the absolute summit of your ambition. The long battle is over. The heavy work is finished. The goal has been achieved. You look out over the vast landscape of your success, holding the prize in your hands. And as you stand there, you remember the night you hit the wall. You remember the exact moment where your mind begged you to quit, where your body was burning, where your eyes were heavy, and where it felt like the entire world was pressing down on your chest. You remember how easy it would have been to drop your hands, walk away, and accept a quiet life of regret. And you look down at your hands, and you smile with a deep, silent, tearing pride. Because you know that you did not win because you were handed a shortcut. You did not win because you got lucky. You won because when the dark night came, when the exhaustion hit, and when everyone else collapsed, you dug your fingers into the dirt, found the deep gear, and refused to break. You earned every single inch of your glory through raw, relentless endurance. That victory will belong to you forever. It will be an unassailable monument to your character that no one on this earth can ever take away from you. Lock this sacred, unyielding affirmation into the deepest layer of your subconscious mind right now and let it govern your actions through every wall you ever hit. I do not stop when I am tired. I stop when I am done. Say it with the cold, absolute certainty of an iron law. I do not stop when I am tired. I stop when I am done. Let that phrase scream through your nervous system whenever pain tries to slow you down. When your legs want to freeze, when your eyes want to close, when your brain begs for comfort, repeat the law. I do not stop when I am tired. I stop when I am done. You do not measure your effort by your feelings. You measure your effort by the completion of your duty. Your fatigue is ignored. Your reserve tank is open. Your focus is absolute. Choose endurance over ease. Choose grit over surrender. Choose unshakable relentlessness. Step straight into the wall of today. Break through the false limits of your fatigue. Tap into the deep gear of your spirit and outlast every obstacle standing between you and your undeniable victory. Now, with your relentlessness forged in the fire of exhaustion and your endurance proven beyond doubt, you are ready to expand your internal mastery, outward learning the art of the leader's presence and becoming an unshakable anchor of strength for everyone around you. Chapter 11. The Leader's Presence. Look around at the people in your life right now. Look at your family, your team, your colleagues, your friends, and the community that surrounds your daily movement. What do you see when you look into their eyes? In a world drowning in chaos, noise, uncertainty, and constant panic, most human beings are desperately searching for an anchor. They are overwhelmed by the speed of change. They are exhausted by the relentless demands of the modern environment. They are terrified of the dark, unmapped future. They carry heavy burdens of quiet anxiety, walking through their lives with hesitant steps, waiting for someone to step forward who possesses the courage to lead, the calm to reassure, and the iron stability to stand firm when the storm rages. Until now, you have spent your journey focusing inward. You have built the citadel of your mind. You have rejected the poison of comfort, killed the traitor within your thoughts, executed your plans in silence, mastered your attention, turned your pain into fuel, step-launched into the fog of risk, rewired your identity, engineered your daily architecture, and unlocked the terrifying power of unshakable relentlessness. You have built a formidable human being inside yourself, but true mastery was never meant to end with you. True strength was never intended to be locked away in a solitary tower of personal achievement. Personal development without service is nothing more than sophisticated selfishness. Building power simply to admire your own reflection or build an isolated fortress is a small, hollow misuse of human greatness. The ultimate expression of self-mastery is outward expansion, the leader's presence. When you master your internal world, something extraordinary happens to your physical projection. You no longer have to try to look confident. You no longer have to perform leadership or wear loud, aggressive postures to prove your authority. True self-control naturally manifests as a silent, magnetic, undeniable presence. You become the eye of the hurricane. Think about the physics of a storm. At the outer edges of a hurricane, there is violent destruction, screaming winds, blinding rain, and total chaos. Everything caught in that outer ring is thrown around, shattered, and swept away. But at the exact center of that massive atmospheric war lies the eye. The eye is completely still. The air is calm. The sky is clear. The pressure is settled. The storm rotates entirely around that central axis of stability. That is what a true leader becomes for their circle, the immovable eye in the center of life's chaotic hurricanes. When crisis strikes your organization, when financial panic hits your market, when personal disaster shocks your family, or when everything in a project falls apart at midnight, average people lose their minds. They scream, they point fingers, they scramble in frantic circles, and they spread contagion throughout the room. And then you step across the threshold. You do not raise your voice. You do not wave your arms. You do not demand attention. You simply walk into the room carrying the cold, quiet, battle-tested calm of a human being who has conquered their own internal world. Your breath is deep and measured. Your eyes are settled and clear. Your posture is erect and stable. You look at the chaos not with terror, but with the surgical clarity of a master who has spent years training in the fire. Notice what happens to the temperature of the room the moment your presence enters it. The screaming stops, the panic dies down. The frantic heartbeats of those around you begin to synchronize with your slow, steady rhythm. People look at your face, see zero fear, see zero hesitation, and instantly find their own footing. Without saying a word, your internal state communicates a profound, silent message to every soul in that space. The leader is here. The anchor is dropped. We are going to prevail. That is not charisma born of cheap charm or smooth words. That is the undeniable gravity of real presence. Look at the people who claim to lead today. They demand respect because of a title on a business card, a position on an organizational chart, or a number in a bank account. They try to rule through fear, manipulation, loud noise, or micromanagement. They expect loyalty while offering zero emotional stability in return. When the heat rises, they crack. When the pressure mounts, they take their stress out on their people. They throw their teams under the bus to protect their fragile ego. They are weak managers wearing expensive suits. They do not possess presence. They possess authority on paper, and the second the storm gets heavy, their people abandon them in their hearts. Why are you allowing weak, emotionally volatile leadership to set the tone for the world around you? Why are you holding back your own strength when your family, your business, and your community are starving for real, grounded leadership? Look at the cost of your silence. Look at what happens when good, capable, disciplined human beings step back and allow small, loud, selfish minds to lead. Organizations rot. Families drift into chaos. Teams lose their vision. Young people grow up believing that leadership is about ego and dominance rather than service, sacrifice, and unshakable character. You do not have the right to stay quiet anymore. You do not have the luxury of hiding in the background, enjoying your personal peace while those around you drowned in confusion. Your strength is no longer just for you. Your strength belongs to everyone who depends on your vision. It ends today. The leader steps forward. The standard is raised. Stand up, focus. You rise now. Lead by example. Hold the line. Elevate your circle. Real leadership is not a speech you give on a stage. Real leadership is a life you live in the open. Do not try to teach people through loud lectures, endless criticism, or unsolicited advice. People do not follow what you say. They follow what you do. They watch how you handle stress. They watch how you treat people when you are tired. They watch whether you hit the alarm or hit the snooze button. They watch whether you execute your work with relentless excellence or drop your standards when no one is looking. Your daily life must become a living, breathing demonstration of the highest possible human standard. When you embody discipline, courage, clarity, and kindness in your own daily movement, you create a silent standard that pulls everyone around you upward. Hold the line when everyone else is seeking shortcuts. When the market gets soft, when the team gets tired, when the culture around you begins to accept cheap excuses, slow work, and compromised integrity, you do not bend. You stand like an iron pillar in the dirt. You maintain your standards with cold, loving, uncompromising consistency. You show your people that it is possible to maintain absolute excellence under maximum pressure, and by holding that line, you give them permission to step up and find their own greatness. Elevate your circle with every interaction. A weak leader uses their strength to make others feel small, so they can feel big. A true leader uses their strength to pour confidence, clarity, and authority into everyone around them until those people realize they are capable of achieving things they never dreamed possible. Look at the people on your team, not for who they are today, but for who they could become if they were held to a higher standard and backed by unshakable support. Expect greatness from them. Praise their victories with genuine, deep enthusiasm. Correct their mistakes with swift, surgical, unemotional precision, free from personal insults or emotional cruelty. Teach them how to build their own citadel, how to master their own focus, and how to govern their own minds. Transform your family into an impenetrable fortress of strength, love, and discipline. Transform your team into an elite, unified force that executes with terrifying speed and absolute trust. Transform your community by being the person anyone can count on when the darkness falls. Feel the massive, majestic expansion that occurs in your spirit when you pivot from self-preservation to total service. The petty worries about your ego vanish. The fear of small failures dies. Your energy multiplies 10 times over because you are no longer powered by the small engine of personal ambition. You are powered by the massive generator of a mission that impacts generations. Breathe in this high responsibility. Step up to the heavy weight of leadership with open shoulders and a quiet, joyful spirit. Feel the weight of people looking to you for strength and feel the quiet pride of knowing you can carry it. Picture a moment in the near future. A massive, unexpected crisis hits your life, your company, or your home. The lights flicker. The radio broadcasts panic. The walls shake. People run to you from every direction. Their eyes are wide with fear. Their voices are shaking. They are looking to you to make the call, to direct the defense, to solve the problem, and to carry them through the darkness. You feel the heavy, massive weight of their trust settling onto your shoulders. And instead of shrinking, instead of panicking, instead of wishing someone else was there to take the lead, you take a slow, deep breath and you smile. You feel the dense iron core inside your chest holding that weight effortlessly. You have built this strength through years of private discipline, silent labor, and relentless self-mastery. You are ready for this hour. You look into their eyes with absolute warmth, absolute clarity, and absolute authority, and you say, "Look at me, breathe. I am here. We hold this ground. We march forward now." And you lead them through the fire, out of the storm, and into the light of total victory. There is no higher honor on this earth for a human being than to become a shield for those they love and a beacon of hope for those who are lost. Seal this majestic identity anchor into the core of your soul right now, and let it define your presence in every room you ever enter. My strength lifts everyone around me. Say it with the deep, resonant thunder of a leader who has claimed their throne. My strength lifts everyone around me. Let that truth guide your eyes, your posture, your voice, and your actions every single day. You are no longer just living for your own goals, your own comfort, or your own victory. You are a leader. You are an anchor. You are a light in a dark world. Your ego is surrendered. Your presence is locked. Your mission is absolute. Choose service over self. Choose authority over fear. Choose leadership. Step into every room today with your head held high. Carry the calm of the storm in your chest. Hold the line for your people and elevate your entire world through the undeniable gravity of your master presence. Now, with your internal mastery expanded into outward leadership and your presence established as an immovable anchor, you are ready for the final master's synthesis, stepping into the high peak of your journey and permanently controlling your world. Chapter 12. Controlling your world. Take a long, deep breath. Let the air fill your lungs completely. Feel your ribcage expand. Hold it at the top for 3 seconds and release it slowly. Feel the absolute stillness around you in this exact second. Feel the weight of your feet planted on the ground beneath you. Listen to the quiet rhythm of your heart beating in your chest, steady, deliberate, and strong. You have traveled through a vast, intense landscape of human transformation. You have walked through the deep valleys of your past doubts, dismantled the comfort traps that kept you small, buried the weak, self-sabotaging identity of your old self, learned the strategic power of silence, reclaimed your sacred focus from a distracted world, converted your deepest heartbreak and anger into raw nuclear fuel, marched straight into the cold fog of risk, rewired your core identity, engineered a daily architecture of relentless micro-victories, unlocked the deep reserve tanks of tanks and antagonist of Elik. Look back at the person who began this journey with you 12 chapters ago. That person feels like a distant stranger now, doesn't it? That person was still negotiating with comfort. That person was still letting external circumstances dictate their emotional baseline. That person was still looking for shortcuts, waiting for guarantees, and begging the world for permission to step into their potential. That person relied on fragile, fleeting bursts of willpower, constantly fighting an internal civil war between the desire for greatness and the addicting craving for ease. That old version of you is gone. It was burned away in the furnace of execution. It was left behind in the quiet hours of hard labor. Now you stand at the summit of the mountain. You hold the master key in your hand. The master key is not a single daily routine, a temporary burst of motivation, or a slick set of performance hacks. The master key is total synthesis, taking every principle, every ritual, every mindset shift, and every piece of mental armor you have forged and weaving them into an effortless, permanent, non-negotiable way of existing on this earth. This is the state of total mastery. This is controlling your world. Understand what it truly means to control your world. Controlling your world does not mean that you live in a fantasy where bad weather never happens, where markets never crash, where plans never fall apart, or where difficult people disappear. The world outside will always remain chaotic, unpredictable, and raw. The ocean will always throw massive waves. The wind will always shift without warning. Controlling your world means that your internal sovereignty is so absolute, your mind is so sharp, and your discipline is so deeply anchored into your core identity that the chaos outside has zero power to alter the temperature of your spirit. When the ocean throws a massive wave at an average person, they panic, scream, and drown in the foam. When the ocean throws that exact same massive wave at a master of self, they step onto the board, adjust their balance, use the raw kinetic energy of the storm, and ride the surge straight to the shore. The wave did not change. The human handling the wave changed. You are no longer a victim of the weather. You are the architect of your reality. You are no longer someone trying to change or searching for a better path. You are the ultimate sovereign authority of your life. Think about the daily conflict you used to endure, the friction between who you were yesterday and who you wanted to be tomorrow, the constant, exhausting debate in your head every time hard work was required. Should I do this? Do I have the energy? Is it worth it? What if I fail? Look at how hollow those old questions look now. When your identity shifts permanently, the debate dies forever. You do not need emotional speeches to wake up early. You wake up early because you are the standard. You do not need outside applause to work in silence. You work in silence because you guard your power like classified intelligence. You do not run away from pain. You drag pain straight into your internal furnace and turn it into fuel for your mission. You do not freeze in the fog of risk. You step into the dark and force the ground to form beneath your feet. You have chosen delayed gratification over cheap, temporary comfort, and because you sacrificed the small pleasures of the average crowd, you have claimed the ultimate prize, total internal sovereignty and lifelong self-respect. Look at what you have built. Look at the clarity in your eyes. Look at the posture of your shoulders. You carry the quiet, formidable weight of someone who has mastered their attention, sealed their leaks, silenced their doubts, and locked their focus onto absolute excellence. And yet, as you stand at this summit, the parasite of comfort will try to make one last clever appeal to your mind. It will whisper, "You have arrived, you have learned the lessons, you have built the strength. Now you can relax. Now you can let down your guard, loosen your daily architecture, and coast on your path to accomplishments. Recognize that whisper for what it is, the final trap. Mastery is not a static destination where you drop your tools, sit down on a couch, and put your life on autopilot for the rest of your days. Mastery is a living, continuous practice. Greatness is not a house you buy once and own forever. Greatness is a property you rent, and the rent is due every single morning. The moment you stop sharpening your blade, the rust begins to form. The moment you leave your fortress gates unguarded, the noise of the world creeps back in. The moment you start admiring your past victories, you lose the razor-sharp edge required to conquer your next horizon. You cannot coast on yesterday's discipline. You cannot lead tomorrow's battle with last year's fire. Every single morning when your eyes open, you step onto a brand new battlefield. Every morning is a fresh test of your internal fortress. Will you let the world leak back into your focus? Will you let the old self reclaim a single inch of your daily routine? Or will you lock the iron gates, execute your daily architecture with surgical precision, step into the fiction, and extend your empire further? The choice will be yours every single day for the rest of your life. Look around at the culture you are living in. Millions of people are wandering through their days like sleepwalkers, drowning in endless digital distractions, complaining about their circumstances, waiting for someone else to save them, and wasting the precious, finite currency of their lives on cheap, meaningless noise. They are soft. They are reactive. They are terrified of discomfort, terrified of risk, and terrified of standing alone. You are not one of them. You are the exception. You are the leader. You are the master of your attention, the owner of your energy, and the sovereign ruler of your energy, and the sovereign ruler of your mind. While they run after instant applause and loud validation, you move in total stealth, working in the dark, building in silence, and letting your heavy, undeniable results make all the noise that ever needs to be made. Feel the massive momentum building in your chest right now. Feel the electric energy rising from the soles of your feet, rushing through your spine, expanding your lungs, tightening your grip, and focusing your vision into a sharp, unbreakable laser beam. Your excuses are gone. Your fear is dead. Your time is now. Step forward, choose greatness. Claim your world. Stand up tall, shoulders back, chin up. Breathe in the fire of this moment. Listen to the absolute silence of your own internal certainty. There are no remaining doubts to resolve. There are no past mistakes to weep over. There are no external permission slips to collect. The world is not something you beg from. The world is something you shape through the sheer, unyielding force of your battle-tested character. Feel the immense, profound relief that washes over your soul as you step completely into this reality. The anxiety is gone. The background panic has evaporated. The chronic self-doubt has been crushed into dust. You no longer fear the hard times, the cold rain, the heavy burdens, or the dark fog of the unknown, because you know with deep iron certainty that whatever life throws at you, you possess the internal furnace to burn it, the daily discipline to outlast it, and the master presence to turn it into absolute victory. You are entirely free. Look out at the horizon of your life. It is wide open. It is yours. You are finally the master of your fate. Look at that horizon stretch out before you into the distant future. See the open roads, the unbuilt empires, the untouched opportunities, the lives you will elevate, the legacy you will forge, and the heights you will scale. There are no artificial ceilings on your life anymore. There are no boundaries except the ones you choose to set. You step off this summit not as someone who is searching for strength, but as a human being who embodies power in every breath, every decision, every ritual, and every hour. Engrave this supreme final affirmation into the absolute bedrock of your soul. For the rest of your days on this earth, I am in control. My mind is sharp. My world is mine. Say it with the thunder of a conqueror claiming their realm. I am in control. My mind is sharp. My mind is sharp. My world is mine. Repeat it until it is no longer just words, but the very frequency at which your blood flows through your veins. I am in control. My mind is sharp. My world is mine. Go out into this world today. Lock your fortress gates. Step into the fire of difficulty. Silence your internal saboteur. Work in the deep dark of secrecy. Direct 100% of your attention onto your target. Convert every drop of your pain into high-octane fuel. March straight through the fog of risk. Embody the new self in every action. Execute your daily architecture with surgical precision. Outlast every wall through relentless endurance. Hold the line as an unshakable anchor for your people, and rule your world with absolute calm, absolute authority, and absolute greatness. The story is written. The blueprint is complete. The master has stepped into the room. Stand up, focus. You rise now. You have traveled through the deep landscapes of your mind. You have faced the doubts, dismantled the comfort, and buried the old version of yourself that accepted mediocrity. Look at who you are right now. The chaos outside hasn't vanished, but it no longer matters because the mind inside is absolute steel. You have learned to turn pain into fuel, silence into power, and focus into dominance. Never forget, you control your mind. You control your world. It is not a phrase. It is your new law. When the storms come, and they will come, you will not bend. You will stand tall, breathe deeply, and remember the fortress you built inside yourself. Go out there today. Do not ask for permission. Do not look for applause. Move in silence. Execute with precision. Step into every room knowing exactly who you are and what you are capable of achieving. Your destiny is no longer a distant wish. It is a daily promise written by your own discipline. Stand up. Focus. You rise now.